You hear the name Dr. Faust, and an image probably pops into your head, right? A brilliant, tormented scholar wrestling with his own ambition. But what if I told you that the story we all know is actually a wild reinvention of a much simpler and, frankly, much more terrifying original? Okay, let's get into it and uncover the source code of the Faust legend.
Yeah, this quote, it just nails the modern Faust we think of. He's this guy defined by his endless, restless hunt for, well, for everything. He wants all the knowledge, all the experience, a single moment of pure satisfaction that, deep down, he knows he's probably never going to find.
And this is the version that has fascinated us for centuries. The intellectual who gets so fed up with books and theory that he turns to magic. The genius whose real satisfaction doesn't even come from winning, but just from the fight itself. He's complicated, he's kind of relatable. His whole story is this deep, psychological drama.
But that's the big question, isn't it? Was the original Faust really a man wrestling with his inner demons, or was he up against something way more literal? Well, the answer takes us all the way back to the beginning.
To really understand the legend, you have to peel back all the layers that guys like Goethe and Marlowe added over the years. We need to dig down and find the original blueprint, the foundational text that kicked this whole thing off.
And here we are, 1587. This is the year the first major version of the story got published in Germany. And it wasn't a play, it wasn't some epic poem, it was something they called a Faust book, which literally just means a Faust book.
And the purpose of this Faust book is what's so wild. I mean, forget all that complex inner turmoil we were just talking about. Its goal was super direct, moral instruction. This book was written to be a totally unambiguous cautionary tale, meant to teach a very, very clear lesson.
And that lesson was, you guessed it, an unambiguous warning. The original story was designed from the ground up to be a cautionary tale. Think of it like a powerful piece of propaganda for living a good, righteous, God-fearing life.
This chart just lays out the difference perfectly. On the left, you've got the 1587 original, a straight-up cautionary tale with a literal monster from the outside world. And on the right, you have the complex psychological dramas we know today, where evil is an internal struggle happening inside someone's head. See, the original wasn't about a battle for a man's soul within his own mind. It was about a man making a very, very bad deal with a very, very real demon.
Just listen to that description. It's taken from an illustration in the original book. This isn't some metaphor for temptation. No way. This is a physical monster with wings and horns, literally standing there in the room with him. Evil wasn't some abstract concept you could debate. It was a creature you could see and touch.
So the crucial point of the Faust book is really this. Evil is real, it's outside of you, and if you stray from the right path, the consequences are eternal and they are dire. There's no ambiguity, no gray area. It's just a simple and honestly a terrifyingly powerful lesson.
So you might be wondering, why does this simple, almost crude original story matter so much? Well, because without understanding it, you can't really appreciate what the Faust legend eventually became. You see, the 1587 Faust book provides what we can call a critical baseline. Think of it like the original version of a song, before all the remixes and covers came out. Every other version of the Faust story is a variation, or a riff, or sometimes a direct argument with this first, starkly simple tune.
And this is the whole thing. This is why it's so important. When Marlowe gave his Faustus that soaring ambition, or when Goethe turned Faust into a symbol of endless human striving, they were actively changing this baseline. They were taking a simple story about damnation and twisting it into a complex exploration of humanity itself. And understanding the original shows us just how radical those changes really were.
So, I'll leave you with this to think about. The very first Faust was basically a sinner who fell prey to a literal monster. But the modern Faust, he's an icon of human ambition who chooses his path, for better or for worse. So what does that massive shift tell us about how we see ourselves, our own ambitions, and the nature of evil today?